Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Good Girls Get Rich podcast. I am your host, Karen Yankovich, and as if you're watching this on video, you can see that I'm not in my office today. I am traveling and in an Airbnb in California, and it's actually pretty cool. If you're not watching, you should move that mic. So this is a giant, it's a giant rock built into the deck. It's really pretty cool. Anyway, just a little note about that. I love that I have created a business that allows me to do this, right? That allows me to travel I actually travel for a family wedding, and now doing a little traveling around the state before I head back to New Jersey. So anyway, here I am. And I'm here with my, my fancy podcast equipment, or my not so fancy podcast equipment, so that I can make sure that we are continuing to deliver what you signed up to hear, right? So welcome to this episode. I wanted to go back to basics a little bit today because it's so interesting to me. I teach this stuff all the time, and I really, at the heart of everything I teach is I want more women to have more financial success, right? And a lot of times it comes down to how you're showing up. Well, let me just put it this way. How you're showing up contributes greatly to that, right? So that's where I can help you. So obviously LinkedIn is a big part of that. And it's so interesting to me that there's people that are following me and that say, I want to listen to your podcast all the time, or in my free Facebook group, which if you're not, LinkedInForWomenCommunity.com gets you there, or there's links all over this place to get in there. But there's just some basics that aren't done, right? I'll look at your LinkedIn profile and I'll be like, wow, like they're not using this, you're not using that. And these are simple basics. So I wanted to do an episode that just talked about a couple little things, right? This is going to take you 15 minutes. Okay. So you're going to listen to this episode, you're going to put 15 minutes aside, you're going to get a pen out if you're in your car, come back and listen, or obviously there'll be show notes. I'll take the notes for you, right? So there'll be some show notes on this, and just do these couple of things, right? These are just get this stuff out of the way, because it makes a big difference to the kinds of success you could be having on LinkedIn, right? And that's what we're here to talk about. That's what we're here to do, right? So we're going to just jump right into that. The first thing I want you to do, and the first thing I want you to do is create, if you haven't yet, or optimize your featured section. So let me just take a step back and tell you what the featured section is. It used to be that I'm going to take a little history of LinkedIn, right? It used to be that you had a summary on LinkedIn, and in your summary, you were able to have media, meaning you could add links to your website, you could upload PDFs, things like that. The summary turned into an about section, which is so much more interesting than summary, don't you think? Right? So your about section is not a summary anymore. Now it's an about section. And then I'm not really sure which came first, but at some point, LinkedIn stripped the media out of the about section and put it in its own section called featured section. Now, if you don't have this section, you just need to go to add a section, which is somewhere around the top of your LinkedIn profile. Just go to add a section and add the featured section. Okay, it's important because this is where you can showcase whatever it is you want to showcase, right? Now, I'm a fan. So let's just go back to what you can showcase. You can showcase things like links to your website. Usually there's in my featured section is typically a link to my most recent podcast. You could put a link in to anything you want, right? So I also often put a link in to book a call with me, right? I want to make it really easy for people to take the next step if they're interested in what they're seeing or hearing about on my LinkedIn profile. You could link to your newsletter. If you have a newsletter on LinkedIn, you could link to content that you've had on LinkedIn. You can do that. So there's all different ways you can use this. So number one, use it. Okay, use it. Make sure that you're using it. I'm a fan of not putting too much. One of the mistakes I sometimes see people make beyond not using it is using it too much and putting too many things in there. Right? You maybe have 10 things in there. You put your speaker reel in there, and you put your PDFs and descriptions to your programs and all this other stuff. Nobody's going to look at all that stuff. It's too much, right? It's such a powerful section because people can go right to whatever it is you're sharing there. So you don't want to drown people in information because they're not going to do anything then, right? So what are the most important things to you, right? To me, I often want either take my quiz. If you haven't gone to LinkedInQuiz.com yet, you want to do that. So often I'll have a link to my quiz. And I change it up, by the way, right? Links to my podcast, book a call links. Those are typically the things I cycle through. If we're doing a promo, then I might link to something that, register for a free event, right? So I might link to those kinds of things. 2 to 3 things max. Because again, you want people to take action. And if you're confusing them or there's too much stuff there, they're just not going to do anything. Nobody is going to watch our YouTube videos on LinkedIn. They're just not, right? So don't put it all, it's not where it belongs, right? There's other places on your profile for a lot of that information. But if you have not been using your featured section, absolutely start doing that, and start doing that today. The next thing I want to do, and this is so crazy to me that there's so many people that still haven't done this, but I mean, I would say maybe half the people I come across haven't done this yet. And that is customize your URL, right? Like if you look at the search bar, the URL bar of my LinkedIn profile, and it says linkedin.com/in/Karen Yankovich, not Karen 267 parentheses, blah, 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 Yankovich, and a couple other numbers, right? Easy to remember, easy to put on a business card, easy to put in my email signature, right? That's what I want you to do. Customize your URL. And again, you can just Google, how do I customize my LinkedIn URL, right? Because we're not screen sharing on this to show you how to do that. It's really easy to do. And you want to do that. And remember that your LinkedIn profile is about you, not about your business. So you don't want to put in there that your business name, you want to put your name in there. Okay. It's some version of your name. If your name's not available, first initial, last name, whatever you got to do, but it's not, you don't really want to put like Coach Karen, because what if you're not coaching in 5 years? You have all this stuff that links to that, right? It's your name, whatever name you go by, right? Use that there. All right. Another thing I want you to remember to do, which is so powerful, and again, so many people don't do that, is endorsements and recommendations. Take some time today and write 2 recommendations. And honestly, in the world of ChatGPT, you can even get some help with that, right? You can even pull, and again, this is going to be dependent, the success of it is going to be dependent on how good the profile is of the person you want to write a recommendation for. You can pull their about section, go on over to ChatGPT, throw their about section in the ChatGPT and say, hey, this is a coach I worked with, this is a hairstylist I did, whatever. Write a LinkedIn recommendation for this person from me, right? Copy, paste, edit, done, right? Do that. It's so powerful when you are just providing value to people, right? Same thing with endorsements. Go on endorsement binges. I like to call it like sprinkling fairy dust on people's LinkedIn profiles, because it's powerful for them. Because if somebody is looking to do business with you and they see that somebody's endorsed you hundreds of times for a skill that they're looking to hire you to do, that's powerful, right? It's way more powerful than like recommendations and like 1 or 2 recommendations, right? It's very, very powerful. It also feeds the LinkedIn algorithm with keywords, right? So think about that. What are people searching for on LinkedIn that you want to come up for? Make sure that you have those listed as skills, because here's what happens. When you give a lot of endorsements, you get a lot of endorsements, right? And when you get a lot of endorsements, now you are getting the benefit of that fairy dust that's getting sprinkled on the profile, right? So take some time today, write a recommendation or 2, sprinkle some fairy dust with LinkedIn endorsements on some LinkedIn profiles. And you can ask, like maybe you're in a mastermind or a business group or something, or a Facebook group. Maybe you own a Facebook group and you can have like one day a month and it's LinkedIn endorsement day. Let's go in and endorse each other, right, for things. Make sure that you bring to the top, you can reorder your endorsements, your skills. Make sure you bring to the top the things you most want to be known for, because that's generally what people are going to endorse you for, right? So make sure that you've done that work first. Okay, 2 more things I want to talk about. One more is something like a profile thing again, and that's your services section. It's a fairly new service on LinkedIn, feature on LinkedIn. You want to optimize this. Now, if you've LinkedIn Sales Navigator or Premium LinkedIn, you're going to have more. You're going to be able to go deeper with your services than not. But at the very least, list them. Make it easy for people to know what it is you do. Make it easy for LinkedIn to know what it is you do, so that they can share when people are searching for these things, they know when to bring your profile up, right? It's on you. You can do this. So optimize your services section. And the last thing, and I really want you to take 10 minutes a day on 10 minutes a day would be great. 10 minutes 3 times a week on this. Go into your existing contacts, your existing people you're currently connected with, and look to see who you can do some outreach to. Who can you reconnect with? I will say I get so much pushback on this, because people say, oh, I already know who's in my network. There's nobody good. If there was anybody good, I wouldn't be talking to you. And then when we look, when we brainstorm together and we look at who they're connected to, and they see, wow, I didn't know that Mary left that company and now works here. I didn't know that. Great opportunity to reconnect with Mary. Mary might be a great opportunity for you. Mary might know a great opportunity for you, right? What these reconnection calls do is it allows you to have conversations that start with, here's what I do, who do you know? And those are the most powerful and the most profitable conversations on LinkedIn. So yes, of course, there's an outreach strategy to build your network. We're not talking about that today. We're talking about today is just simply going back in and reconnecting with people that you are already connected to. Maybe it's somebody that's really interesting to you. And you can just say, hey, Joe, I see that we've been connected out here on LinkedIn for a couple of years. I'm not even really sure how we got connected in the first place, but it looks like you're really doing some interesting things. I'd love to know more about that, right? There's so many ways you can do this. And these are the kinds of things that the people that are having the most success and building the most, bringing in the most profit from LinkedIn, these are the things they're doing. These 5 little things that we just talked about here today, right? The first thing we talked about, and I need to look at my notes, first thing we talked about is optimizing your featured section. The second thing we talked about is customizing your URL. The third thing we talked about is endorsing and recommending. The fourth thing we talked about is your services section. And the fifth thing is outreach, reconnect with people. These are simple things to do, you guys. Simple. They're not hard to do. And when you're doing these things consistently, right? Some of this stuff you only have to do once, right? Like things like your services section, your featured section, you're going to want to do those. You're going to want to keep an eye on those and update them as things shift in your business, right? But generally, you want to just do them once. And then it's that reconnecting stuff, and continuing to sprinkle fairy dust and write recommendations. When you're doing those kinds of things, you're putting this amazing energy out there, and it's a magnetic approach to building your business. And who doesn't want more of that, right? Who doesn't want more people coming to you because they've seen the energy that you're putting out there? That's what happens when you do these kinds of things. I know it. I see it every day. I want that for you as well. So this is all we're talking about today. Short and sweet. Okay. Short and sweet. These are the kinds of things that I work with my clients in our She's Linked Up programs and in some of the free programs we've been running. We've been running some free training programs this year. Well, if you go to KarenYankovich.com, you can find all the things, right? But we've got, we did a PR Prestige event. We're doing a Revenue Reimagined event. There's a couple of things that these events are very low cost or free. And they're usually free when we do them live, and then they become low cost training programs in our system. And they're there for you because I want you to get a taste of what it looks like to step into this world of that magnetic marketing that we teach on LinkedIn, right? That magnetic marketing that PR and LinkedIn strategies bring you. So check those out. The best way to find these out on a consistent basis is to join us in our Facebook group. LinkedInforwomencommunity.com gets you there. I would love to have you there. And remember that rising tide that lifts all boats. That's what I want for you. I would love if you've got some value out of this episode, for you to take a quick screenshot, share it on your social networks, tag me, right? So that I can see that you shared it and I can share it with my audience. And now you're bringing me visibility, but I'm also returning the favor by getting you more visibility. That's how we lift each other up. And that's how we have more wealthy women in the world, which is the heart of everything that we're talking about here, right? So take a few minutes today, implement these things we talked about, share this episode, and I will see you back here next week for another episode.